right, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome once more to another video podcast of Political News Time. I am your hostess, Alex Mayers, and I'm not too late this evening. I'm not too late, which is awesome. I do this show every night, at least I attempt to. And over here, I like to talk about politics, current events, public figures. I do like to touch on a bit of adult entertainment industry news here and there. So, it's a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything, but also a little bit of nothing. So, hope all of y'all had a good day today. Let's see, what do I really want to talk about? And just so y'all know, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can, at Alex Mayers Live. I do want to make it known, if you're somebody who follows a lot of adult entertainers, I most likely will not let you follow me. Reason being, I don't want that sort of energy in my life at this phase of my life. I am an old lady, and I just feel like leave the craziness to the young people, and if that's what you want to be, then that's who you need to follow, not me. So let's see, what do I want to talk about today? Well, you know what? I saw a really interesting piece on CNN. The BLM movement, Black Lives Matter, is now a symbol of hate, and I knew that was gonna happen. I almost feel like by design, BLM has been orchestrated to a degree to become a quote unquote symbol of hate for people who are not of color. And considering what certain people of color who should be a little bit more responsible with their social media platforms, I can see how that is happening. I think that's why just yesterday Terry Crews put out the tweet that he put out saying, hey, let's not let Black Lives Matter turn into Black Lives Better. And, read between the lines on that one, that what he said could be read on a multitude of levels. But what he's saying is, don't go all black supremacist with the whole BLM situation. I mean, within the microcosm of the adult entertainment industry, I've noticed that happening. There's this one young girl who really hasn't even been in the adult industry very long. She had a false start at one point, actually. But she's been given quite a few opportunities, far more opportunities than most adult actresses of color who are her peers. But for some reason, she went off the deep end when it came to the BLM movement. And I did notice that it turned out that she is the one who is attempting to quote unquote cancel an industry veteran known as Brandy Love. And the girl I'm talking about, she uses the name Demi Sutra, but before that she was known as Asia. But there's some weird things about Demi that I'll get into one day. Not today. Trump calls Black Lives Matter a symbol of hate as he digs in on race. And I don't support Black Lives Matter at this stage because of that whole defund the police thing. I've said it on previous podcasts, but I want to make sure I continue to say it, because I don't want there to be any confusion about it. Black Lives Matter, it lost sight of its original objectives. And I'll tell you, that guy is supposed to be their leader out of New York. The guy, doing his best to, I guess, impersonate Shaft. That's a dangerous situation. Someone needs to, step in pretty quickly. Actually, you know who should talk to him? And I'm talking about that hawk nuisance. Reverend Al Sharpton. He might make it worse, though. But me, I don't think he would. I think that's who Hawk needs to talk to. All right, so let's go into this article. On Monday, President Donald Trump went after attempts to strip the names of racists from buildings. On Tuesday, it was a federal housing rule meant to combat racial segregation. By Wednesday, Trump was calling the words "Black Lives Matter" a symbol of hate, a description he's refused to use for Confederate emblems that would spoil the luxury avenue he once called home. As he distributes wanted posters of suspected vandals on his Twitter feed and warns those who splashed red paint on statues of George Washington to turn themselves in, Trump is also stoking racial tensions, using language and tropes that harken to the days of segregationist politics and fears of ruined neighborhoods. It's not only Trump doing this, though, and this started way before him. I wish I could find out exactly who the parties are that are really trying to antagonize a race war in America, because that is what some people are trying their darndest to do. And I do implore that all of you out there who watch me, don't fall for it. Don't go there. Please don't. I mean, everywhere I look, first off, it is no coincidence that BLM is coinciding with the coronavirus. It's just not. It's all orchestrated to happen at the same time. And I don't want my show to turn into, Alexandra's political theory hour, but it's just so apparent as to what's going on. I mean, if you want to blame Trump, you really have to go back to Barack Obama because of the whole birther thing that really Trump didn't start, but he had friends who unfortunately are often aligned with white supremacists. I'm not going to say Trump is not aligned with white supremacists, because he is. He is. But I don't think that he anticipated back when he was questioning Obama at that time that today he would be sitting in Obama's place, sucking up a lot of karma. But what you do have to think about is when Obama was elected to office, that right there stoked a lot of racial flames, simply due to him being a man of color. So I hate thinking about it in those terms, really, but that's the reality. I'm really glad that I got to see a president of color at that particular time in my life. But should Obama and his administration done more to prepare for what would happen when it came to racial relations upon his departure from office? Yes. In my opinion, yes. Black Lives Matter. Has it become a symbol of hate? To a degree, yes, because it is being condoned in mainstream media for people of color with vast social media platforms to say things that if the roles were reversed, they wouldn't get away with it. Here's an example. Beyonce. Do I like Beyonce? Yes. Am I a Beyonce fan? Of course. But is Beyonce stoking some racial flames right now with, I think her latest release is called, I think it's called Black is King. is it really the right time for that, Beyonce? What if somebody decided to come out and say and put out an album called White is King? I mean, you're going to have people criticizing Trump. I think Trump retweeted something with one of his supporters screaming white power. But how is screaming white power different than Beyonce putting out an album called Black is King? Let me make sure I'm getting that right, because I'm pretty sure that's what I saw that it was called. I think it's called Black is King, and I think Disney is distributing it. Yeah, it's a visual album called Black is King. And I'm not opposed to black being king, but as an African American, if black is going to be king, you know, what about the white kids? Why can't white kids have something called White is King if they want to be king? I listened to a speech this morning given by Candace Owens. Who tweeted it? It was Jason Quinlan, my current fascination. He tweeted a link to this Candace Owens speech. And she said something interesting that did stick in my mind. She was saying that it's interesting to her how a lot of Americans seem to think that history only began with America, and that slavery only started within America. And I thought that was a pretty good point, because let's just look at what a king is. Okay, so Beyonce's got this thing out called Black is King. Do you really want to live in a monarchy? Because in monarchies, that is often the kind of societal structure that does allow for slavery. In Europe, what do they used to call the slaves? Serfs or indentured servants. Same thing as slave. You know, where did a lot of the slaves come from that were brought to America? Black people enslaving other black people in Africa. You still got slavery going on over in Africa, actually. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's still going on. So, all this king business, you know, maybe get rid of that. You got to think about what you're saying in the terms that you're using sometimes. People should follow Jason Quinlan. He is very politically incorrect. Extremely so. But he is one of the most interesting men. I've never met him. Never met him. I've just read his blogs, which I'm doing a little series on. And I guess I would like to meet him one day. That would be fun. I'd like to go on a date with him. But then again, maybe not. Because then maybe the allure and the appeal would disseminate, and then what would I do? But he's my fascination for the summer. And ladies out there on the West Coast, I think he's single, I'm not sure. Hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but ladies on the West Coast, he's a cute guy, very interesting, very smart. I don't know if he's looking, but he seems like he goes out sometimes. So if you're looking for a fun guy to be around, you might want to follow his Twitter and stalk him a little bit. Jason Quinlan 7. Yeah. Catch him. Okay. Well, what else did I want to talk about? Well, here's something that I thought was a little bit ironic. Vanilla Ice is coming back out in the midst of the Black Lives Matter. Vanilla Ice, I don't know how to feel about Vanilla Ice anymore, because you know what? There's a dude who I've had some issues with over the years, who I had to get a restraining order against and everything due to his online harassment. who kind of reminds me of Vanilla Ice, and that's why I don't like Vanilla Ice. This particular guy just kind of ruined Vanilla Ice for me because he has like a similar style. And but anyway, Vanilla Ice is supposed to be coming back out, and he's doing a concert in Texas, but they might be trying to stop him because of the coronavirus. Let me find the article. I thought it was funny. It was real funny that it's like, really, like right now you're going to try to make a comeback? But at least, you know, this is a good way for him to get publicity, I suppose. He can get lots of publicity because everyone's going to be talking about like, ooh, is anyone going to go to the Vanilla Ice concert where he could possibly get sick and get the coronavirus? I think I retweeted it. Let's see. But a lot of things from the 90s are coming back now. All right, here it is. Entertainment Weekly. It's titled Ice Cold. Vanilla Ice will perform for thousands in Texas where coronavirus cases are surging. Quote, "We didn't have coronavirus in the 1990s. That's what he says. He still looks pretty good for his age. He looks about the same. Actually, you know who he's starting to look like? Mark McGrath. Vanilla Ice and Mark McGrath look similar to me. Remember Mark McGrath? I think that's his name. From Sugar Ray. My ex-husband actually looked a little bit like Mark McGrath, which was strange. All right, anyway. Oh, that's that's the first word of this article is all right. That's funny. You can check this out on Entertainment Weekly. All right, stop. Vanilla Ice is throwing a 4th of July weekend concert deep in the heart of pandemic hotspot Texas. You know what? I would possibly brave the coronavirus for this concert because that song, Ice Ice Baby, is kind of catchy. You know what? Maybe I should play it while I'm reading this. For those of you who are not aware, the hook from that song is actually from a David Bowie track, Under Pressure, which is also a good song. And Jim Carrey did a parody of Ice Ice Baby, which is funny as hell. It is so funny. I like Jim Carrey too. All right, let's find this song. If you really watch the video of Vanilla Ice from whenever this came out, I guess the late 80s or the early 90s, he was really working really hard to dance in this video. You got to give him credit. You just know he was into this dance routine. He's not a bad dancer. Not at all. Let's see. Yeah, let's put up some Vanilla Ice while I read this.
Yo, VIP. Let's kick it.
Let me get over my aversion to Vanilla Ice. Okay, so Vanilla Ice is throwing a 4th of July throwback party. I would go to this concert if I could. 4th of July weekend, deep in the heart of pandemic hotspot Texas. You might get coronavirus, but you could dance to this song. The Iceman will cometh this Friday at a concert venue in Austin, where all the bars are otherwise closed due to COVID-19. So that's good timing. I mean, everyone is going to end up going to that damn concert because they have nowhere else to go. The concert is titled the Independence Day Throwback Beach Party, and it's happening due to a legal loophole. The Austin Chronicle pointed out, legal loophole my ass. Donald Trump put this shit together to try to push his race war. Or maybe someone in the Trump administration. Because think about it. Black Lives Matter, and the only dude who's going to be doing a concert in this area is who? Vanilla Ice. Ooh, you know who's behind it? Pence.